Repeal of Law project is not about only looking into archaic laws, British time laws. It is also an initiative to look into laws that is not fit for today's time and day. The purpose of Repeal of Law project is to aware the legislators to make laws that should probably die its own death when the purpose is assumed.
This project was important for me because in this project I got to learn about repealing of laws. Here in our law school we also have a subject known as interpretation of statutes in our courts, but we are never taught or we have never come across any opportunity where we could have dealt with something called repeal of laws.
I will get to search and find those laws which are redundant, obsolete or not even prevalent in a sense anymore in particular areas or in a particular state, and will contribute in some way or the other to that particular state's functioning or governance and to the people itself.
Northeast is an area which has always been a disturbed area from the time of independence. Specifically from the time when AFSPA was invoked in Northeast, it has been creating a lot of problems, and our former Home Minister, State Home Minister Mr. Kiran had clearly said that if these laws are present, if these archaic Armed Forces Special Powers Act is present, it would put down the development of Northeast, and therefore these laws should be repealed. Already the law has been repealed in Meghalaya and Assam, but it has not been repealed in states like Arunachal Pradesh as well as in states like Mizoram and Manipur.
I feel that it's one of the most neglected part of our country. Also, I worked on agroecology laws regarding northeastern states, and I felt the atrocities the people of Northeast face due to redundant laws that are prevalent, and therefore I decided to choose this project and working on Northeast.
My overall experience with the Repeal of Law project was definitely different, because here I got to explore the whole new area of legal studies that has not been talked about, that is repealing laws.
With the project, as I worked upon the various laws, I get to know first of all about the state current scenario in a more enhanced way.
It was such a wonderful experience when we learn about the multifaceted, multidimensional aspect of repealing laws.
To be very frank, I did not at a point of time. But then again, as I proceeded to my further years in the third year and in the second year itself, when we were, well acquainted with constitutional law, there were some aspects with regards to repealing of laws that we took into consideration, but never to this particular level.
Well, it's important because it's something we don't do at law school. We look at laws, we find them interesting, maybe we read up more on them. Some people find their own areas of interest, some don't, unfortunately. But what we often neglect is the fact that laws develop and henceforth change. But change by its nature also implores you to look back. It implores you to see which acts were bad or didn't serve their purpose, or how the society has developed for you to go ahead and repeal them.
GST Act of 2017. Throughout the country, we are using this law in order to levy tax, and here in the state of Nagaland only, we are using this particular act of 1967 in order to levy tax. So this is an absurdity that in spite of having a central law, there is a state law which is still in effect. According to me, I think this law should be repealed.
Manipur Sales of Motor Spirit and Lubricants Taxation Act 1962, which has been subsumed by Manipur Goods of Sales Act 2017, and it has been most absurd because under this law, any public servant can arrest anyone without any warrant, and also they have the authority to detain that person for unlimited amount of time, and for which many people are suffering because of this.
Assam Disturbed Areas Act 1955. This law is bad because it gives immense power to the army personnel, which includes the right to shoot at sight at the disturbed areas without any legal repercussions. Besides being in conflict with the central legislation, that is Armed Forces Special Powers Act, it also outrightly violates the right to life of every citizen. Moreover, as we all know, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So we could not have such a legislation in our legal system which does not provide or which in any way curbs the right to life of the citizens living in there in any situation. And that's the reason we need to repeal this law.